In the West, the war in Ukraine is perceived as aggressive, invasive and accompanied by numerous crimes against humanity. And initially, some Russians openly shared similar sentiments. Anti-war protests in the country were relatively prominent in the first months after the full-scale invasion began, but then died down rather quickly. Many citizens see what's happening as a just war against the collective West, which is exactly what Putin wants them to think.
The Soviet Union era played a huge role in unteaching people how to think for themselves and be critical. They didn't have time to learn how to be critical thinkers, how to be independent thinkers. They did not have time to realize that you can question those in power, and that's normal.
In addition, contemporary Russian propaganda is strikingly different from Soviet propaganda. Although it uses much of the same traditional ideology, the technical approach is completely different. So even if there is experience of countering Soviet propaganda, it doesn't necessarily work against the current narrative.
Конечно, современная пропаганда в России во многом более эффективна, чем советская пропаганда, потому что, во-первых, она учитывает, что люди могут получать информацию из разных источников, и она старается представлять картину не такой, какой обязательно было бы выгодно властям, но такой, какая картина нравится самим гражданам.
According to experts Euronews spoke to, it's possible many Russians don't fall for the state propaganda. They simply fear to express their position because they're scared of repercussions and persecution. But it's not only fear that's preventing Russian citizens speaking out, it's also disappointment and apathy. Deep disillusionment with the Soviet regime, as well as the so-called democracy in the 1990s, has shaped Russians' apoliticism, especially as many think the war doesn't affect them.
Ситуация, видимо, выглядит так, что значительная часть граждан, большинство или нет, трудно сказать, но значительная часть граждан не хочет войны, но в то же время их не настолько волнует эта война, чтобы они активно выступили против нее.